Good evening. I am Sai, and welcome to A.C.E Podcast Nation, the home of a wrestling series, Keepin It Real, with my man, Andrew Thompson. You can watch the video versions of this series and all our other series on youtube.com/A.C.E Podcast Nation, or the audio version at the usual radio and podcasting apps. We've got a ton of interviews and exclusive interviews at that on various subjects, whether you're a wrestling fan, a cricket fan, a soccer fan, or a football fan, as you should be, an MMA fan. We've got all sorts of stuff. I've got a whole list of exclusive interviews with Cage Warriors fighters in the run-up to the event, which is finishing around about now, and this week dropped a load of them. We've got exclusive guests on our football show every week, including world-class international footballers. We had legendary cricketers on our show. We just do it all. Conspiracy theories, you name it. We got a show or a series about it, and I'm very, very excited to say that in the next week to 10 days, I will be recording and announcing a very special mini-series of 5 episodes with some fantastic guests on an emotional, thought-provoking subject, which I hope will open a lot of eyes for people, help people, and help us as a channel. But on we go with the wrestling. Lots to talk about as usual. And joining me is postwrestling.com's writer and interviewer, the man with the best wrestling interviews on YouTube, Mr. Andrew Thompson. How goes it, my friend?
I am highly offended that it took that long to introduce me. I'm very, very offended, sir.
It's just dragging it out, man. Just dragging it out. I got some exciting stuff coming. Something which I'm well excited about, but I'm not allowed to talk about yet.
So it was good. It was good. So how you feeling?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Your head growing back, man. Look at you. You was bald like 5 weeks ago.
You can see the grey coming through the side. The age is getting to me, man. The age. The time catches up with us all. But, it is what it is. You bring the youth, I bring the good looks. That's all we need.
Skin still looking clear, man. Continue that streak of not being racist. I'm telling you, that's the thing.
Yeah, I don't need. It's not difficult for me, mate. To be honest, I don't know why people find it so hard.
I'm telling people that's the cure to get you to keep your skin clear.
But why do people find it so difficult not to say fucking offensive, dumb shit? I don't understand it. I see it week in, week out on Twitter, Facebook, social media. I don't know if it's people trying to sound. Sometimes I think it's these women and guys trying to sound like they got their finger on the pulse and they're intelligent and they're woke and they say the dumbest shit of everyone.
You literally just sparked something that I just remember. Did you see Tessa Blanchard's apology that she put out?
I haven't, but I did see a tweet from someone referencing it. Yeah. But I have not seen it. I will bring it up now.
Basically, it's too long to read, bro. But basically, the thing that stick out the most when she just continued to deny that she didn't call La Rosa Negra the N-word. That she's continuously denying that. So,
but I thought she there was numerous witnesses to that.
There was.
But the last time she posted about it, she dug herself a huge
because she denied
hole
it again,
and she just denied it. It's like,
and this is the thing. La Rosa Negra wasn't even the one who brought it up. Allison Kay brought it up because she was there when it happened, and then La Rosa confirmed it. So La Rosa, I don't think she further spoke on it after that. She just confirmed that it happened and then left it alone. And then Tessa continuously denied that it didn't happen. But I think we all kind of knew it happened. I mean, honestly, bro, I honestly think it would have done her so much better if she would have just came out of the gate and just admitted that she had done it and sort of with the route of that wasn't me all those years ago. I've changed. I think I don't think people probably would have forgave her, but I think it would have been some people that would have forgave her, and it'd have been easier on her to just own up to it.
The thing is, if she had owned it. Not owned it, but said, yes, I said it, this was the reason, I had this going on, or whatever it was, she's more likely then to say, I don't know, her peers are more likely to kind of say, she was going through a tough time and it's not like her and she's not like that, and I've never I've known her for 20 years and she isn't racist or whatever. Okay. But because she keeps digging that hole, no one's coming to her defense, rightly so. Do you know what I mean? Like,
real quick, just to add in, she definitely had her fair share of wrestlers who was backing her up in what she was saying. Brian Cage was under the comments. Melissa Santos, Joey Ryan, out of all people, was in the comments. You're right. Right, was in the comments. It was a couple other wrestlers in there, man. Like they, that I mean, once you
I can't see it. I can't see it on her Twitter.
No, it's on Instagram.
Oh, right, okay.
They commented on Instagram, but I mean that I think that just kind of lets you know all you need to know right there about what they think. They don't think she said nothing wrong. It's just simple shit. I mean, no, like honestly, I'm telling you, like if she would have just owned it from the jump, and because I mean, like I think it's a relation part to it, to where we all can admit that we all said dumb shit when we were younger. But I ain't never said no stupid ass shit like. To the shit that the extent that she did. I said dumb shit before, but like she was on some other shit. But like still, like
I am so glad that they didn't have social media when I was like 15, 16, 17, 18, because I said and did so much dumb shit. I would have posted on social media the first thing which come out of my mind all the time, and I would have been unemployable. But I was lucky I didn't have to deal with that. Everyone has done dumb shit. Everyone has made mistakes. Exactly. It's how you come through them, how you deal with them. And part of dealing with the mistakes you make is owning them and saying, yes, I did do it. Yes, I did something wrong, and I need to do something about that behavior, or I need to change, or I need to, whatever the mistake may be. But when you just deny it, and people know that your denial is bullshit, you're never going to get past it. Like people would have reminded her about it anyway, rightly, but because she keeps denying it, it's never going to go away. Because every time she says something or does something or signs for someone, or everyone is always going to just pull it up all the time, because she won't admit what other people witnessed. And I think that's a huge problem for her. Do you think that's why she hasn't been signed by WWE?
Nah, no. Come on, like, dog, they got Hulk Hogan on the pick. Like, come on now.
I suppose there is that. But still, like, it's not a great look, is it? When you
Nah. See, with Hogan, what I think that WWE thinks is Hogan's overall star power will override any of the bad that he's done.
There's enough apologists for him, isn't there?
Exactly. But with Tessa, I don't think it's that many that will publicly come out and and then with the Hogan thing, I think the thing that WWE always tries to get away with is there so many wrestlers there, they loved Hogan growing up, so they can look past the fact that what he says. Besides the black wrestlers, for the most part, they ain't they ain't going for it. But most of the wrestlers there, they like Hulk Hogan was my favorite growing up, yada yada yada, all that bullshit right there. So it's all good though, man. Tessa, she wanted to come to grips one day.
I'm surprised the WWE. I thought they would sign her in the summer. I thought that especially when Charlotte went and Becky went. I thought, God, they're definitely going to sign her. I was surprised they haven't. And there's a lot of people, celebrities, wrestlers, whoever, that I wouldn't want on my podcast because of shit they've said. I would interview Hulk Hogan on the condition that I could ask him anything, and if he was happy to talk about anything, and I would ask him the questions which people want answered and people want to hear him talk about, instead of always skirting around subjects and stuff. And not just about that stuff like that he said. I'd ask him about a load of stuff. Just, I don't know why not. The Hulk Hogan's going to come on my podcast, let's be honest.
I would have absolutely zero interest in speaking to that man. Would you
like to grill him though, mate, and really ask him the difficult questions? No,
I have no interest in getting that from him at all. It's like it's past that point now. But like over the summer, I did have interest in interviewing Tessa Blanchard, just to ask her specifically about that situation, and of course other stuff, but that was probably gonna be the first thing I asked, just to clear that situation up. Because I mean, I mean, I feel like she probably just gave me the runaround anyway and said she didn't say it. You know, cool. Like, why the fuck would she admit it? She haven't admitted it over the past 8 months.
Yeah,
Like, why the
she's
fuck
not
would she
admitting it on her social media. Like, she's not going to just say it in a podcast, or an interview. But I don't know. All right. So you just told me before the show that the collective independent show is suffering from a mass amount of pullouts, wrestlers pulling out. Is that COVID related?
Yeah, basically for the most part, it's COVID related. I wouldn't say it's like massive amount, but it is a great deal of wrestlers that have pulled out or are thinking about pulling out just because of the fact. And most of those wrestlers, let me say, are signed to companies like Impact when they signed to AEW. Like they just, I don't think it's, well, I'm pretty sure they don't think it's smart for them to be, going to shows where basically you are relying on the wrestlers to get COVID tested and you're not doing it yourself. So basically you're, and it's because David Marquez kind of said the same thing when he was doing press for the UWN primetime show. He was just like, he expects the wrestlers and he hopes the wrestlers are COVID tested, but like they don't get COVID tested there. They get temperature checked there. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's problematic for me, mate. Like,
you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of the same thing with the collect, well, not even collective, just independent shows. But I mean, for the most part, things have been good. Like things have been smooth, obviously, because they've been running show. But like, I don't know what happened lately. Like it was just been an outbreak, and I guess some promotions that had people under contract are just like, I don't think so. And I was gonna ask you, I'm gonna let you go ahead because I know you had something to say, but I did want to have, I got a question for you after that.
So I was going to ask you what the situation is in America generally with COVID now, because where I live in Wales, the last few weeks, I think I mentioned to you last week that there's been like local lockdowns, so like local villages and areas have been put under, like, you can only leave your house to go to the chemist or the shops or whatever, and it's been getting closer and closer to where I live, and it's now, we're on lockdown from tomorrow, and there's a lot of those areas have had, like, it's for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever. We're on lockdown from 6 o'clock tomorrow night, Sunday night, and it's undefined amount of time, which is a bit worrying. But the schools are still open, but everything else, we're on lock, which is sad. It just doesn't seem to be going away. But I was wondering, like, I read there was another spike of cases in the WWE. I believe I saw there was a spike of cases in AEW as well, because there was a lot of guys off TV this week. And who was it? One of the AEW wrestlers said he had it as well.
Yeah, Archer.
Archer, that's it. Yeah.
And Ben Carter.
What's the general situation like in America? Are they getting on top of it, or is it still?
No. I don't really think so. Honestly, I think we about to go into that second wave of COVID here. That's kind of what it feels like. But I mean, at the same time, it's like a lot of different stuff. Like, dog, it's like kind of a mixed bag, because obviously we got everything going on with the police brutality and stuff like that.
Yeah,
it's black, and then people are in the streets, like gathering together. You know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like hard to like do the whole COVID situation, and like not COVID situation, but like labeling COVID on that, because people are outside like really doing something that means something in a way.
Yeah.
And that ain't even a way, it does mean something. So it's like, I don't know what it is, bro. It's just weird that like this shit keep happening, and then like the only thing the media kind of puts it towards is people got to stop doing this because COVID, and I'm like, well, whatever, bro. So I got a whole fucking rant for that. I'm gonna let that go. I can
imagine, mate. So what was the question you were gonna ask me?
Oh, I was doing so if you AEW, are you pulling Moxley from Bloodsport, and are you pulling Joey Janela from Spring Break?
If they are not testing and they're only doing temperature checks, if I'm Impact, AEW, Ring of Honor, or WWE, and New Japan, if any of my wrestlers are going anywhere, but those places aren't doing proper COVID checks, then I probably would pull them. Yeah, just because you can't afford, like AEW can't afford for Moxley to go and do Bloodsport, get COVID, potentially give it to other people within AEW before he realizes that he's got it, and then you can have real problems like real quick. And I just think that they've got to be responsible with, yes, you want to let your wrestlers work these independent shows and you want to support independent wrestling, that's really important, but equally you got to be responsible, and these companies have got to look after, number one also, in themselves. So if I owned those companies and I was in charge of making those decisions, and I'm obviously, a lot of my judgment is on how COVID is developing in the UK and around me, because I'm not in America, so I don't know quite how bad it is and whatnot. But that would be my take on it. I gotta be honest. Yeah. What about you?
No, I mean, I think it's kind of different with Joey Janela, because GCW, that's kind of, that's home in a way. So I mean, him being off of spring break, that's kind of, I don't know about. But Mox, I don't think it's worth it. I do not think it's worth it. That's your world champion right there. I don't know.
It just causes so much problems, doesn't it?
And then we just had Ben Carter, who wrestled Scorpio Sky. He tested positive for COVID. He announced he.
Such a blow for him, isn't it?
Yeah, and that sucks, bro. But yeah. So I mean, we gonna see. I know Ethan Page pulled out. We mentioned Deonna Purrazzo pulled out. She did Impact Knockouts champion, and I'm pretty sure they don't want nothing to happen to her. The Slammiversary is in 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, not Slammiversary, Bound for Glory is in 3 weeks. So I'm pretty sure Impact was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, that ain't happening. I hope that collective show can go ahead as planned, but
yeah, I do
unfortunately, it does look as if maybe it's not gonna.
But it's the thing is, bro, it's it's kind of tricky, because it's a whole weekend of events, and I'm pretty sure people are gonna be coming into town. I'm pretty sure not everybody there lives in fucking Indiana. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure it's gonna be people coming from all over the place, coming to check it out.
You can't monitor people.
You can't do that, bro.
There's no way you can do it.
There's no way. You can't do the COVID track and stuff now with all those different people, bro. There's no way, bro. I mean, you could take their information down, I'm sure, but I feel like,
but it's not the same.
I feel like it just that shit does nothing. So I mean, they got a tough decision to make, because I mean, when you look on top of that, and then on top of the fact that some of these companies gonna be like, our wrestlers won't be a part of this. So
yeah, sad times, but because COVID just doesn't look like it's going away, unfortunately. Okay, so let's move on to your roundup for the week. What you got? What did you have this week, my friend?
Man, did you hear the Sami Zayn podcast that he did?
I did not.
Man, that was it. You can search it up right now. It's called the Blind Boy Podcast.
Okay.
Dog, legit one of the best podcasts I've heard this year. Legit.
I love Sami Zayn. When he's out of character, I think he's such an intelligent guy. Sami
is very, very, very intelligent. Very, very intelligent. He came off real well on the podcast. Really, 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 really well doing the podcast. I was like, bro, it was like just an hour, like almost 2 hours worth of podcast. But I highly recommend that people go check that out. Like, it was like really that good. And it was one part, of course, because I was searching for the wrestling news in the podcast. But it was some wrestling talk in there. But I mean, for the most part, it was like Sami kind of explaining the pro wrestling business in a way to the dude who was hosting the podcast. So that was kind of like the gist of the pro wrestling talk. But it was one part in there where he talked about if he was banned from going to Saudi Arabia, because the Sammy for serious stuff that he got going on. So he talked about that, and he was like, the dude asked him, was he banned from going to Saudi Arabia, to WWE Saudi Arabia shows. He was like, he said, I don't know the specifics on this. To this day, I didn't really ask because I wasn't really keen on going anyway. But WWE did a partnership of sort, or signed some sort of a deal to put these shows in Saudi Arabia for, I don't know, 10 years or something like that. And I just wasn't invited to go, and I never really dug into it too much because I wasn't keen on going to begin with. But I would like to discuss that for a moment, because there's a certain amount. It was just like, basically saying like he really doesn't know if he can go to Saudi Arabia or not, because he never asked, but he doesn't really care to ask.
Yeah.
So
that's
that
so
was
like fascinating to
I know, right?
But like
because he said WWE never asked him. They never asked him to go.
It's so strange, isn't it?
I know, right? That's weird. He was like, he said,
why wouldn't they explain it to him? Like if they're not asking, like if he can't go because the Saudi Arabian don't want him there.
Sami said he never asked though. Like he never asked.
What, you're telling me every single wrestler who goes, they ask, "Can I go to Saudi?" It's bullshit, mate. Like
no. He was saying he never asked why they never asked him to go.
Yeah, but them as a company, even if you're not, say, I'm sure, like, if they didn't take someone who's regularly on TV for whatever reason, they'd explain it to them and say, oh, we're not taking you to Saudi Arabia because we want you to have a rest, or we want you to be available for SmackDown and we don't want any problems. Whatever the reason may be, they would explain it. But because the conversation is difficult for them to have, they haven't explained it to him. He's never asked because he doesn't care, because he doesn't want to go. But I just think it's, as a company policy, like from the company's point of view, I think it's pathetic. They should have explained it to him, because if they're being told by the Saudi Arabian government he cannot come, they should, you'd think, as human beings, be saying to him, look, you can't go there. It's they choose who they want, or whatever the reason, we don't agree with it, but we've got to follow their guidelines. Just from a human point of view, why wouldn't you do that?
What's the name? Yes, like, because like basically before every Saudi Arabia show that they do, Sami Zayn do his Sami Zayn mobile clinic. Syria. Yeah, and then his parents are Syrian, and I remember in 2018 Pro Wrestling Sheet, they reported that Sami Zayn didn't go to the Greatest Royal Rumble event, and it wasn't his decision, and he wasn't brought on to respect the local culture in Saudi Arabia. And then WWE, they put out a statement. They was like, WWE is committed to embracing individuals from all backgrounds while respecting local customs and cultural differences around the world. And that was what they said. So,
Jesus fucking Christ, man, messed up, I'm telling you. But what I never really understood why the WWE didn't. You never see them retweet the Sami for Syria stuff. You never, they've never seemed to support it at all, which is strange to me, because they're so about charity, and they use charity work to promote the company, in no uncertain terms they do. And I never really understood why they didn't do that with his charity. But
shit, they don't even retweet Carmella's wine, and they went and dropped their own wine.
Crazy, man. It's such a strange company.
Nah, see, that was petty as hell right there, knowing that lady been working on her wine for the whole year, ain't never retweet, ain't never share, but they went and created it. I think that's kind of petty.
Of course it is. It's absolutely ludicrous.
What else? And then I think that's more so her doing that on her own, and not asking them to help. So
so what else was in the roundup this week?
Oh, Edge provided an update on his injury recovery.
Okay.
He was on the Square Circle Pit podcast, and he ain't dropped no groundbreaking news or nothing like that. It was just, the dude asked him, how he's recovering well, and it's just it's been 2 months, he ain't really been able to do much. He's not one of those guys that like to go right back into working out right after surgery. He like to give it a couple months and just let the surgery let everything flow in a little bit, and then that's when he starts working out. So he was he's probably in a couple weeks he gonna really start getting back in the gym, and he'll be back. That's all he said.
Cool.
And the dude asked him about the dude straight up asked him if he was on the Raw creative team.
Mm-hmm, right,
which I was surprised by. He straight up asked him, and then Edge was just no, but he explained that the way that he helps talents, it can be perceived that he is on the creative team, but he was basically what what he said was he told the wrestlers, every wrestler on the roster, like if they need him, don't hesitate to reach out. If you need an idea, don't hesitate to reach out. Like, you know, basically saying he was an open book, but he's not on the creative team. But he said he can sing, you know, like he is. So
okay, so it's interesting though, isn't it? But like, do you think he'll be back for Mania? And I think they're gonna do him versus Randy Orton for the title. I got this bad feeling that's their long-term plan. No one wants to see that. I noticed in the roundup as well, you had Alexa Bliss saying she wanted to work with Bray Wyatt many years ago.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're recording this on a Saturday this week, where we normally record on a Friday before SmackDown. So last night on SmackDown, Alexa Bliss was so good.
Drilled a hole in Roman Reigns.
Yeah, man, there was so many like little nuances to what she was doing. Like, so she was having a match with Lacey, and I think first of all, was it the laugh came over the speakers, and then the lights and the noise which plays when the Fiend comes out played. She did the Sister Abigail and stuff. She looked like her facial expressions and overall acting at that point was good. And then as she's leaving, Roman Reigns' music hits for the next segment, and as Roman Reigns is posing on the stage, she's like stood behind him, and the camera angle was very, very good, you know, which should be considering the company's size and production value. But the angle was perfect, and you just had Alexa Bliss stood behind Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, just looking at him, looking at the belt. And I'm down for her and the Fiend. I've got to be honest. I like what they've done with the story. I like that they didn't rush it. Like, they played it out for ages and ages and ages. I like it. I think SmackDown has been very, very good, probably for 3 or 4 weeks now. I think I've been really impressed with some of the stuff they've done. You've had the Intercontinental title trio stuff with the AJ, Jeff Hardy, and Sami Zayn. Like, it hasn't been like groundbreakingly new creative stuff, but it's been enjoyable. They've all done solid work on the mic. I think Sami Zayn has definitely added like a extra dynamic as well to the show. I like what he brings.
You good? I was going to add something real quick. No, it was kind of like the switch topics. RVD and Katie Forbes are no longer on the Impact Wrestling website, so.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, no, and RVD said last week during the interview that he was going to be working with WWE on some future projects.
Right, okay. So maybe he's got like some sort of Legends deal, and they're going to do a documentary or something.
I think that's what it is. Like, I mean, but I don't think he should have said that. Like,
yeah, probably not.
I don't think that's something you should have put out there to the public, man. But yeah, that's what he said. He
was like, does he?
Yeah, I don't think RVD give a shit. Like he said though in that same interview, I remember he was like, you know, Impact don't have me in the signature intro for their show, but he was like, guess what? I don't give a fuck. So I was like,
Well, he doesn't know, does he? He doesn't care. He says whatever he wants to say.
I mean, does he or doesn't he care? Because I mean, if I didn't care, I probably wouldn't have brought it up. So
yeah, I guess so. It's a good character to have, though, isn't it? Like, he can get away with doing stuff like that without, really kind of.
Yeah, but I know RVD was he was charging Impact a lot, so. I like RVD, but I think Impact has a solid enough roster to the point where they don't need him. Honestly,
he's not like that. He's not like, oh my god, what are we gonna do?
Bro, and RVD has openly said that he doesn't love wrestling anymore. Like, I mean, he loves the sport, but like he doesn't have that fire anymore. Like, he's openly said that. That's not and I mean, like,
for sure.
Like, I'm pretty sure. You know, like if you want somebody that's just like, oh, you just here for the paycheck, and RVD said he's just there for the money. So I mean, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't want nobody around. You know, your young guys like that. That's like just fucking get the money. Like I'm pretty sure they want people in the locker room who like team.
Yeah, team impact. They want the guys like to be behind it, don't they? So, just very quickly, we'll talk about Raw. What do you think of Retribution and their masks and their names? They did a promo. What did you think of it? What was your first impression?
Slapjack.
Slapjack.
That is the GOAT. That is the GOAT right there. That's all I got to say about it. Slapjack.
I'll say one thing. Their Twitter game has been on fire. Since they've got names and stuff, their Twitter game has been superb. They've been very entertaining on Twitter. However,
they must have gotten approval for that, because I know.
Yeah,
I know good damn well they not just doing that on their own accord.
Yeah, no, they're not. Look, the names aside, like if you take the names away, and they just had their normal like names, I'm enjoying the Retribution stuff. I find it different. I like that they're doing something different. All the people who are involved in it are very good. I like the added aspect of a heel stable being the ones who kind of are going after them and standing their ground, sort of thing. I like that also. There's aspects to it. Like, do they need the masks? Could they have done something better if they wanted to put them in masks? Like, they're all basically in the same mask, other than Shane Thorne, who's just in this weird one. It's strange, isn't it? But overall, mate, I like it. I as I've said the last couple of weeks, though, it is absolutely imperative that they come in. For me, like, Mia Yim needs to be in the women's title picture or close enough. Dijak needs to be right up, like, towards the main event, at the top of the card. What's his name? Dio Madden needs to be like a solid mid-card guy. Shane Thorne as well. Like, they've got to be winning. They've got to come in. They've got to make an impact. If they're losing by distraction or some dumb shit in like next week or the week after, that's going to kill them. Like, regardless of their names and their look, I don't think the gimmick's dead at the moment, but how they are portrayed from a win-loss point of view will very much decide on how they're portrayed and how they push goes. I don't think that gimmick is dead just because of the masks or just because of the names. Like, there's enough there to make it keep going and for it to be good. Would you agree with that, or do you think it's done?
No, I don't think it's done. I think I probably got some legs to it. I mean, it just depends on how WWE just goes about it. Like, don't make it corny. Like, yeah. I think they already got off to the wrong start with the whole contract shit. Like, come on now, bro. Like,
they should have had him arrested before, and then they should have had him arrested and then set up a match for whatever it is, Clash of Champions, and said that because WWE want to be able to control them and they don't want them to damage the equipment and attack their superstars, if they beat the Hurt Business in this 4-on-4 match or whatever, then they can have, like, they'll win a contract or something, and you have Adam Pearce tell the Hurt Business, you beat them because we don't want them to have a contract, or whatever, something along those lines. There was ways to do it without that side of it not really making too much sense, if that makes sense. But yeah, it is what it is. Wednesday night was interesting. AEW seemed to have a lot of guys missing. We saw Miro's first in-ring performance for the AEW. It didn't go well. Not so much for him, but the other people involved in the match. There was a lot of, how can I say, mistakes, botches, mistimings, slips. There was a lot going on. I'm sure it wasn't what they would have wanted for the, for that first introduction of Miro as a ring worker anyway. But he's talented enough that, he'll come back from that. It's not too much of an issue. What else took my eye from AEW? Cody's back. I thought that was, interesting.
But he always gets the biggest pyro. Like,
he does, yeah.
like
the boss.
Like, no, he been gone for like 3 weeks, bro. Like my man came back and got the super pyro. Like I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the jet black hair either. I'm not sure about that. I think I prefer him with his blondes.
It's a choice.
Yeah, it's certainly something. One little nuance on AEW this week I did like was that they said that the Hangman versus Evil Uno was supposed to be a tag match with him and Kenny, but Kenny wasn't interested or whatever. I thought that was like a nice little continuation of the story without hitting you over the head with it, and without them doing like another promo about it or whatever. I don't want to see sad cowboy Adam Page. I want to see drunk ass kicking Adam Page. So I hope the sooner we get to that, the better. Brody Lee is incredible. He's so entertaining. I just love watching him wrestle, do his promos on Being the Elite, everything. What stood out for you on AEW first of all, and also who do you think attacked Matt Hardy, or did they confirm that it was Sami?
I haven't seen AEW yet, but I saw like I like covered the show through posts, like, so I kept up with it.
Pretty good. We didn't get the same dramatics from Ivelisse and Thunder Rosa this week. No shooting. John Moxley versus Eddie Kingston was very, very enjoyable. I know they want to do finishes and stuff. I would have been upset if they protected Eddie Kingston a bit more. I know they he went to sleep, so they kind of protected him. But I wouldn't have been against all the people who coming in just before the finish. I know they don't want to do that type of finish. NXT, Kyle O'Reilly is the number one contender. Yes. That's what we want.
Yes.
And Candice LeRae is the female number one contender. But let's start with old Kyle O'Reilly. Have you watched NXT in full?
Yeah, I watched it. I told you I always switch back and forth between. I go week by week with AEW and NXT. This week it was just NXT. So, and I haven't really gotten I haven't gotten around to AEW. I've been what's the name? Once I finish my work report for the week, I started binging Mind Hunters on Netflix, little serial killer show.
Okay, what's it called?
It's because I know you do the serial killer series, like it's called Mind Hunters on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's supposed to be real good.
This show is unreal, dog. Like I'm like hooked for real.
I keep meaning to watch it, and then I just there's so much stuff. I'm so behind on everything, probably because of wrestling. There's so much wrestling to watch. I never get bloody chance to watch the things on Netflix I want to watch. However, we're going to get back onto wrestling because I know we both want to be done in good time today. What did you make of the gauntlet match?
It was alright. I mean, I was more so interested in Kyle O'Reilly winning, honestly, than anything that was going on in that match. I was like, it's about damn time. I wish they had a crowd for this, man, because I know people would be cheering for Kyle. Maybe rule.
Yeah, they would.
And then we always got the back pocket of Adam Cole and them turning on Kyle. We always got because Adam Cole been acting real nice lately. He been real nice to keeping supporting. I mean, so I feel like they could always go to route of Adam Cole getting jealous, but I mean at the same time you don't have to break them up.
I kind of don't want him to break up because there's a draft right around the corner, and I would like to see them all go together to SmackDown or Raw or whatever. I gotta say, my one issue with this match was at no point did I think anyone else but Kyle O'Reilly was winning it. So that was a little bit of, not a problem, but I didn't see them making Bronson Reed, maybe Kushida a push, but generally I was like, yeah, Kyle O'Reilly's winning this, and I was happy with that. I was not disappointed whatsoever that Kyle O'Reilly was the winner. The only other person in the match that I would have been quite happy with is if it was Timothy Thatcher, but I don't think that's they don't seem to see the same thing in Timothy as what everyone else does. So Candice LeRae, #1 contender for the women. She won a battle royal.
Her versus Io Shirai TakeOver. You want to know what's crazy, bro? Didn't they wrestle last year around this time at the TakeOver Toronto?
I think they did.
They were 1-on-1, right?
Yeah, I'm sure they did. But there's some good story there. So was she who you thought was going to win it?
Who, Candice?
Yeah.
I mean, they did a real good job of that, making me believe it was going to be Candice. Because at first I thought it was either going to be Raquel Gonzalez or Rhea Ripley. Because they was building those two up throughout the match. So I thought it was going to be one of those two. Then they swerved us and both of them got eliminated. So, I ain't really think Shotzi was going to make a Shotzi just face Io last week. So, But
maybe Dakota Kai,
yeah. I think Candice and Io gonna have a banger. They had that match they had at TakeOver last year was really good. So I'm not gonna be surprised.
Toronto.
Yeah,
but it was awesome.
Yeah, you see that memory. You see that memory right there.
Unbelievable, mate. I'm too old. I gotta look things up. I'm too old. My memory's gone. I can't remember yesterday. Just very quickly, what do you make of Ridge Holland so far? Did he kind of garnered your interest and stuff, or is it just wait until he gets a real matchup and a real feud?
He a big dude.
He is a big dude.
I mean, I remember he dropped Johnny Gargano on his damn head a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, that's not a good start, is it? It's not a great start.
I mean, but obviously he still kind of. I mean, he got the look, so I mean,
From the look point of view, though, him versus Punishment Martinez could be good, couldn't it?
It's just a matter of just finding the right story, finding the right thing. You want to know who? What the hell happened to what's that dude name, man? Lars Sullivan. What the hell happened to him?
Last time I heard, he was struggling with mental health and stuff, and didn't look like he was going to come back. But
I know his old porn video came out.
Yeah. Gotta be careful what you film these days.
All right, next topic, bruh.
It always comes out, bro. Always comes out. I don't really want to talk about Raw because it's so bad.
No.
One of the few things I do like heel Aleister Black, I gotta say.
We go to the Clash. The
Clash champion predictions. Have you got the card? Or do you need me to get it quick?
Yeah, I got the card.
Got him.
Alright. So we about to see who's the real true predictor of this podcast, because Side Swizz is him. Side Swizz up and down that it is him. So here we go. We got on the pre-show Asuka versus Zelina Vega for the Raw Women's title.
Jesus Christ. Why is that on the pre-show? That should be opening the show.
They might as well just put it on the main show.
Asuka's gonna squish her.
So let me ask you this. So do you think they should have kept it going with Sasha Banks and Bayley just a little bit longer with their tag team? Because I think now we about to from that. I think now until the Royal Rumble, we was about to get filler matches for Asuka, bro. It's about to be her versus Lana, her versus Natalya. Yeah. So that's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Who would you like between now and the Royal Rumble? Who would you pull in for Asuka? There ain't really nobody there, bro.
No, as we talked about Bianca Belair last week. She should be in the title picture, of course.
But they gonna put her in the title match. She didn't win.
Yeah, I want. That's it. I only want her in that feud if she's gonna have a prolonged feud with Asuka, which results in her winning eventually. I don't want it just in a filler match. Asuka wins. That's it.
Yeah.
But I think Asuka will win in 3 minutes or something.
We got Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews for the U.S. title.
I wonder whether they may put it on Apollo Crews because Raw is so heel heavy that if they put the title on him, it makes more sense for future feuds, because you've got Aleister Black, you've got the Retribution guys, you've got Seth Rollins. There's a lot of heels. Cedric Alexander. There's lots of heels there for him to feud with. Whereas if you keep it on Bobby Lashley, they are a bit limited. So I think I'll go with Apollo Crews for that one.
So we got I'm gonna go Bobby Lashley and Oscar for the first two matches we said. We got the Street Profits defending the Raw tag titles against Andrade and Angel Garza.
I think they're going to pull the trigger on Garza and Andrade finally.
I don't think so. I think they're gonna continue. I think
moaning at each other.
I think Andrade and Garza are gonna have a singles match at some point. I think it's gonna be a banger if they just leave.
Oh God, it's gonna be awesome. But
give them like 25 minutes.
Breaking tag teams up constantly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go the Street Profits.
Okay.
When the Street Profits been tag team champions for a minute.
Yeah, they're entertaining as hell, mate.
Good long reign right there. But we got one of the matches I'm probably the most excited for. Honestly, they got the triple threat ladder match for the IC title. We got Jeff Hardy versus AJ versus Sami Zayn. I got money on Jeff Hardy taking some crazy ass bump.
Yeah. I hope that they put it on Sami Zayn. But I'd be happy if it's anyone but Jeff Hardy. I know that sounds really bad, but he just doesn't entertain me anymore.
Look at you turning on the childhood hero. Tragic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Got the SmackDown tag titles. We got Cesaro and Shinsuke defending against Lucha House Party, but we don't know which members of Lucha House Party are going to be in the match because they're all beefing with each other. I mean, well, Kalisto is beefing with Grand Metalik and Lince Dorado. So
yeah, it's a bit weird.
I kind of like it. I mean, at least they doing something.
Yeah.
Shit, better than nothing.
They're gonna lose, aren't they?
Oh yeah.
They're gonna lose, and then they're gonna have to scrap off.
I think Kalisto, if he don't get in the match, he might cost him.
I ain't gonna make a little prediction. Sheamus is gonna come in when they're like the Lucha House Party is gonna try and use the number game to cheat to win, and give Nakamura and Cesaro a taste of their own medicine, and then Sheamus is gonna come in and brogue kick one of them behind the referee's back, and then they'll win, and they'll align Sheamus with, so it'll be the Bar and Shinsuke. There you go.
If it happens, I will be tweeting it out. So
there we go.
I'm stealing your idea.
Yeah, you always do.
So we got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defending the women's tag titles against Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan.
You think they surely got to put it on Liv and Ruby Riott? No,
I don't think so. I don't know. I can't, because if they'd have been did that by now. Like
they've been on a bit of a run though of wins, haven't they?
It's WWE side.
Yeah, I suppose.
Now, hey, I'm gonna ask you: have you seen Lana been taking a table bump the past 2 weeks?
Yeah, she loves that shit. She must. She's like, I want to take some proper bumps, and she's like, woof.
Yeah, that was interesting. But yeah, we got I'm gonna go Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler on that with the retain. Yeah. We got Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title against Nikki Cross. Do we see Sasha Banks cost Bayley the title, or does Bayley retain it? Then we see Sasha attack her.
I think Bayley wins. I can't see them putting the title on Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross is like Bayley's personal jobber.
Yeah. I don't think they should have Sasha come out still. I think they should hold off. Sasha. I think they should hold off on it. I think they should keep her off TV, especially after the second attack. I think they should keep her off, but I think she will probably come out after the match and attack Bayley.
So Sal, when does Sasha Banks versus Bayley happen? When does this happen?
It should happen. Survivor Series.
I kind of like that, but I just think dragging it out to WrestleMania at this point is a stretch. Like,
yeah, no, Survivor Series,
it's a stretch,
and then
bruh.
Split them in the draft after Survivor Series, and then you have Bayley retain. You split them up in the draft. Sasha goes to Raw, and then Sasha wins the Royal Rumble.
Look at you!
Face her up WrestleMania.
We'll be tweeting that out, sir. Thanks for the idea.
Yeah, boy.
Hope I get a bunch of retweets off that one.
You
But
get loads of engagement.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Bailey with the retain. Then we got cousin versus cousin. We got Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso for the Universal Championship. I think we all know Roman is retaining, but I think this is gonna be a real good match, real quick. So I had this idea. I was like, if they had a crowd for this match, dog, you want to know what I would have did? You want to know my finish? I would have had, if he was able, Jimmy Uso be under the ring for this match. Jey Uso and Roman Reigns both laid out in the ring. Referee not paying attention.
Do
the twin switch. Jimmy come in, two super kicks the Reigns. Uso splash, 1, 2, 3, and then the referee kind of notices like, or somebody to, or matter of fact, don't even do he notices. Do Paul Heyman tips him off and like, hey, check under the ring, because that's not the Uso that was supposed to be in this match. And then the referee, cute, of course he comes to be
reverse decision.
Reverse decision. They run it back.
Tease the fans.
Yeah, you tease the fans. They run it back, and then Roman Reigns pins Jey Uso, and they just leave it at that.
Yeah.
And then, but that would have been the coolest shit. Can you imagine? Like, can you imagine the pop?
With fans in the crowd,
with fans in the crowd, if one of the Usos won the Universal Championship, dog, can you just imagine?
Insane, mate. That'd be so good.
Real quick, so let me ask you this: what would have been the bigger pop for fans in the crowd, right? One of the Usos winning the world title, or Brody Lee's debut in his hometown for AEW? Which would have been a bigger pop?
I think the Usos, mate, because I just think
I do too.
Longevity, people love them. They really do. So I just think that would have been huge. We should have mentioned, by the way, the promo which Jey Uso cut yesterday on SmackDown to end the show was fire, mate.
Yeah, that
so good.
Yeah, that was
when
really
good. He said, "Do you know what people see when they come up to me or they see me?" He said, "Which one are you?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so good. Shivers down my spine, bro. Amazing."
Yeah, nah, that was really good. I like the way he said. What would he say? He said, you know, when people always knew you as the big dog. He was like, when people see me, they ask me which twin am I.
Yeah,
you know,
good, bro.
That was a real solid line. Really solid line.
Yeah, they've sold it well, better than I thought they would do. Gotta be honest, because they don't always do these guys justice with the stuff, the storytelling. What we got up next? Was that the main event? No,
we got Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in the ambulance match,
bro. You can deny it all you want, but you know what's coming.
What's coming?
The veteran is going to bring it home. He's going to take the title. They're going to put it on Randy Orton, ready for the Edge feud, and people are going to be bored shitless. As much as Randy Orton's run recently has been very, very good. Like, whatever you think of him personally and the things that he's done or said, like, his run as a heel and rehashing the Legend Killer gimmick has been very good, very entertaining. One of the few good things on Raw, alongside Retribution. Thank you very much. I don't want to see him have the title though. I really don't, but I think they're going to put it on him.
There we go. Randy Orton.
Who you got for that one?
I'm going interference from Keith Lee after Randy Orton punted him in the head. That's what I'm going. And then, I don't think he's going to get put in the match. I don't think that's going to happen. But I don't think it's going to be the main event. I think Reigns versus Uso is going to be the main event. And I think that this match is going to be But you ain't know what I would do, honestly, bro. Like, if this match, it's an ambulance match. I don't really know if there's any disqualifications on that. But I think if Keith Lee interfered, I wouldn't mind if they ran it back the next night on Raw just to pop a rating, 3-way for the WWE Championship, Keith Lee versus Orton versus McIntyre in the main event. I wouldn't be mad at that.
No, I think that's a good idea.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
It's a good idea, bro. But whether they do that, I don't know. I just don't know what they're doing these days, mate, with Raw. It's all over the place. It's truly unbelievable. And that's your Clash of Champions predictions. So, anything else you want to cover, mate, before we go?
No.
I'll tell you what we need to talk about very quickly. You dropped episode 1 of your new podcast on Post Wrestling this week.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Tell us about that briefly.
It was just a review show that we're gonna be doing once a month. Myself and Martin Bushby. We had Uncle Nate on the podcast, Nate Milton, to open our first episode of the series. We're just gonna do it once a month. It's just gonna be a retro review. Something cool that we think, like, it's not gonna be all WWE. We probably go back and look at some old early 2000 ROH shows, some early New Japan stuff. Maybe some throwback independent shows. It's gonna be just a variety show. Some real solid stuff. It was real fun, man. I liked the first episode we did. It was just a good time.
Yeah. It was. I haven't caught it yet, but I've got it lined up, ready to listen to. Probably tomorrow, actually, when I'm doing some editing and stuff. But where can people find it, mate? Like,
you can go on Apple Podcasts, man. Search the British Wrestling Experience, because it's on that podcast feed, or you go to postwrestling.com and just look for it on there. It's all over the site. It's on the main page and on the one of the front headers too. So you just check that out. Spotify, Stitcher. It's everywhere, man. Go check it out.
Indeed. Check it out. You can also find the Keepin It Real series on Ace Podcast Nation, Spotify, Stitcher, everywhere. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn Radio, iHeartRadio, and of course the video versions at youtube.com/Ace Podcast Nation. So many great shows, recorded and live. Also visit youtube.com/Andrew Thompson interviews for some of the greatest wrestling interviews that are out there. Back in the early 2000s, it was all about the shoot interviews when YouTube first started being big. Now it's just about Andrew Thompson interviews. If you're not subscribed, subscribe now. Andrew, it is always a pleasure, mate. Always a pleasure. Hopefully we're back in the Friday night slot though next week, because my wife does not. She's not a happy camper. Bless her, but she I can't follow her. She's a legend. But are we on for next week, mate, or do you not know yet?
Yeah, we on for next week, bro.
Yeah, boy. We'll be talking Clash of Champions, as well as the TV of the week, and of course Andrew Thompson's roundups on postwrestling.com. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Cheers, mate.